Hi, I'm Anne-Marie from BrambleBerry.com and SoapQueen.com. Thanks so much for joining me today on Soap Queen TV, where I show you how to combine 2 previous Soap Queen TV episodes. If you haven't seen the Embedding Layers episode and the Pinwheels episode, stop. Go back and watch those right now, because we're going to combine these 2 projects to make one great new project. The techniques are really simple, but you'll definitely benefit from some review before diving in. Now, by combining the 2 techniques, we get this super cool swirl in the middle. I know you have questions now, but not to worry. I'll be sure to answer them throughout this entire episode, so just follow along. We're using some super fun retro 80s colors to contrast with the luster black mica, hot pink and white. To start preparing our rolled up embedded layer, go ahead and melt 5 ounces of white melt and pour soap in the microwave. Melt it on 30-second bursts. Once your soap is out of the microwave, add 2 tablespoons of liquid glycerin. We use the liquid glycerin to help keep our jelly roll pliable so we can actually roll it. We're not scenting our jelly roll, so go ahead and just pour this first layer of white into the pan. While this is hardening up, melt 5 ounces of Bramble Berry clear base in the microwave on 30-second bursts. When it comes out of the microwave, add 2 tablespoons of liquid glycerin to this as well. This is where we're going to make our hot pink colorant using Bramble Berry's non-bleeding red and red blue mica. It's important that we're using non-bleeding colors for this project. Add 2 to 4 scoops of red blue mica and a few globs of the non-bleeding red. Stir and keep adding color until you get the color you want. Making sure that your first layer of white is hard enough to suspend a second layer, spray rubbing alcohol on that first layer. Check the temperature of your overpour in that pink. Is it below 130? As long as it's below 130, go ahead and pour your second layer onto the jelly roll. Now, let this sit for around 5 to 7 minutes. You should be able to easily peel it out after 5 to 7 minutes. While we're waiting for our soon-to-be jelly roll to cool, melt 40 ounces of Brambleberry clear melt and pour in the microwave. Remember, 30-second bursts so we don't accidentally burn it. When it comes out of the microwave and it's fully melted, add 1.5 ounces of fragrance oil blend. This is a blend that I did 1-to-1, so 0.75 ounces of gingerfish fragrance and 0.75 ounces of strawberry fragrance. What's a gingerfish, you ask? Well, it's actually just a fancy name for ginger ale. It smells like sparkly ginger ale, and mixed with the strawberries, it is an effervescent, practically glowing fragrance blend. After you've mixed and weighed your blend, add this to the soap base. Notice how cloudy this is getting. Don't worry, just keep mixing until the cloudiness goes away and it keeps going clear. You'll feel like you're mixing for a while. It's probably about 20 seconds. Now it's time to add our colorant. Add 5 scoops of Bramble Berry's luster black mica and stir well. If you're having trouble stirring the dry powder into your wet soap, use the rubbing alcohol to burst the surface tension of the mica bubbles so they're more easy to stir in. Now pour a very, very thin layer of this, literally half an inch, into the bottom of your Brambleberry loaf pan. While we're waiting for this thin layer to harden, let's pop out our jelly roll soap and get to rolling. Gently pull away from the sides of the jelly roll, peel out that soap, and now take both hands firmly on the soap and start to gently roll. It should be rolling. If you're getting a crack, it's because you've waited too long. Here's another trick for this project. I like to make 2 of these flat sheets at a time so I can do a partial roll up and do another embedded object. Now keep in mind, if these aren't totally fresh, they still might not roll even if you've stored them in plastic wrap, but you'll at least be able to get a partial roll, which is all we need to finish off this project. Now that we have our partial roll and our jelly roll, let's go back and check that first layer. Is it hard enough to support the jelly roll if we plop it down on there? Spritz your roll liberally with rubbing alcohol. and then gently set it down on that first black layer. The reason we have that first black layer is because we want to make the jelly roll look like it's floating in the middle of the soap rather than down at the bottom. Now that your jelly roll is nicely suspended in the soap, check your black soap. Is it below 130 in temperature? Make sure it is, or else it's going to melt your jelly roll. Take your black soap and just start pouring. Fill that all the way to the top. Feel free to move your jelly roll around because air bubbles sometimes get stuck in that jelly roll. Once you've filled your full 40 ounces into your loaf mold, take that final little twisty curl thing we made earlier and just stick it into the soap. Now you may find it won't stand up on its own. Not to worry. Since you poured that black soap so cool, it's going to harden up pretty quickly and be able to suspend that soap, but just keep holding it until it stands up on its own. One last finishing touch. While you're holding that curl, take your rubbing alcohol, spritz, 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 get rid of any bubbles that are on the surface of the soap to add a professional finishing touch. Now let this cool. It'll probably take around 4 to 8 hours to cool. I went ahead and made one up early for you guys because I knew we couldn't wait to see this cut. Gently pull away from the sides to release the airlock. Once the airlock is fully pulled away, just start to push out. The soap is out and it looks great. You can see both sides are black though. That's because our jelly roll-up is just a little bit shorter than our actual loaf. Not to worry, just cut those ends off and put them aside. You can either save these ends or cut them up and use them in another project. Doesn't this look great? I love the look of this, and I really like how we were able to combine two very simple techniques to make a brand new project. Thanks so much for joining me today on Soap Queen TV. Until next time, happy soaping!